You didn't. I like that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're potting.
Well,
From
we're
last
live.
week. Yeah, that's what's up. Uh,
I just love that.
yeah,
That was
yeah, yeah.
definitely
I
the
like it
best
too. I
feeling.
do. I do. I like it too. I do. It's grown on me.
All right, well, this is episode 7, people.
Yeah,
Um, Seaside Mike 1 over there,
that is me.
Mocha AF right here. This is the Where Were We pod, and
Ep-
this is episode 7.
Episode 7. Lucky
And
sevens.
dare I say, we're in the end game now.
We are in the end game.
So, for those of you who have not seen Endgame,
Mm,
massive spoilers right
massive
here.
spoilers ahead.
Now I gotta say though, if you haven't seen Endgame and you don't want to get spoiled, I would just turn it off now.
Yeah,
Maybe watch or listen to this or watch it after you check out Endgame, because that is going to be the hottest topic of tonight. I'm sure of it.
absolutely, absolutely. I
Um,
mean, lots to get into, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, it was big.
You want to start off? We want to start off with Endgame.
I think there would be no better way to start off than with
Okay.
Endgame.
Well, let me just ask you then. How much did you like the movie? Did you like the movie?
I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Um, I'm assuming you did as well.
I thought it was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, like of all time, right? Because
Yeah,
it was really fire.
I thought it
Um,
was one of the best movies I've ever seen. Yeah.
so basically, we're gonna review it.
Hmm.
So
And
start.
don't expect for us to review every movie that comes out,
No,
but
no,
like
no.
the things that we enjoy, the things that
Yeah,
Endgame obviously is a big deal. So
it is a big deal, and it's also, I mean, we're both 25, 24,
yeah,
25. So like this is a majority of our lives here
yeah,
that
it's
have
been
been dumped
years.
into like
That's the thing
11
that people
years,
don't
right?
understand. Yeah,
It's like this is a good chunk of our lives. A
absolutely. From
chapter
Iron
of it.
Man 1 to here, like
Yeah.
it's been a journey. It's been about 10 years, 10, 11
11
years, something like
11 years.
11, 11 years.
Iron
Wow.
Man 1 was 2008. It is
Wow.
now 2019. This was the 22nd movie in the MCU. 22 movies.
Incredible.
That's ridiculous. But
Yeah. That's
uh
long-term storytelling at its best. And this has all been leading to this.
oh yeah, it's been set up perfectly. I know that we'll probably end up talking about some Easter eggs. Those are the kind of
Hmm.
things that I really enjoy talking about. Um,
Absolutely.
and I think that so both of us really really liked it.
Yeah.
So that's if you haven't seen it and you don't care about spoilers or whatever, um, like it is one of the coolest story arcs to see come to fulfillment. I mean,
Yeah.
just
Absolutely.
Tony
Uh,
Stark going from an egotistical person who,
Made weapons,
yeah,
who pretty much just cared about creating more wealth, women, things like that.
and
To
Captain America even saying, like, you'll never be able to make the sacrifice. And there he goes. He sacrifices everything.
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even like put that part together yet.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. We have a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
these things. Because even Captain, his storyline got a perfect close as well. Because he was the could never rest character just the
Yeah.
same. And
Yeah.
Tony was like, you need to get a life.
Yeah.
All you ever know is fighting crime and being a justice warrior here,
Yeah.
and
I'm
you need to enjoy some life. And he's like,
yeah.
I can't. Then he
Yeah.
could.
I've got to do what I got to do. I got to do my duty.
Um,
I mean, have you? Well, okay. Let's start with this. We both knew that s- there was no way that everyone was going to survive this. Am I right? Is that what you assumed going in?
I So I assumed that, but only out of sheer knowing the contracts were expiring for Chris Evans and Robert Downey
Hmm.
Jr. and even Chris Hemsworth. I
Hmm.
figured that all three of them would probably either die or have their storylines pretty much closed to the point where they could only really appear in cameos.
Yeah.
Um,
I
so
I
yeah.
thought, yeah, I thought that the movie. I knew that the Iron Man movies were done, that the Captain America movies were done, but I thought that Captain America would stay on essentially as a role, as
Well,
a
he
mentor
is.
to some other young Avengers. You think so?
No, it was proven in the movie.
How so?
Falcon is the new Captain America.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said Captain America. I meant Iron Man.
Oh, gotcha.
I thought
I was about to
yeah,
say Captain America is
yeah,
gonna be a living thing.
yeah.
But I think Iron Man's also gonna be a living
I
character in
could
the
see. I could.
universe.
Okay. I could. Here's my theory. My theory is that Iron Man and Captain America
Well,
are
not
both gone.
Iron Man specifically, but Iron Lad.
Yeah, I'm saying that Tony Stark will be back in the MCU. I'm
Oh,
saying that it's not going to happen anytime soon, but I would be very
I
surprised if both of them do not make at least a cameo in the future.
well wait before we get into that. Have you seen the newest Spider-Man trailer?
I haven't seen. I've heard things about it. I have not yet.
Do you care if
Um,
I spoil it for? I mean, it's a
Go
trailer.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Spoil it for
So
me.
they announced full stop the multiverse.
I do. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that they're
In
the
which
multiverse.
case cameos could happen because you could go to an alternate universe where Tony never died. You could go
Yes.
to an alternate universe where Cap never went back to the future or
Hmm.
back to the past.
Back to the past.
So because the multiverse is confirmed, um I can totally foresee them doing cameos of Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans. We know that Chris Hemsworth is not done
Yeah, yeah. I
as
didn't. I didn't
Guardians.
expect him to be. I didn't expect him to be gone. Um,
Um,
I like that. I like the way his character was starting to trend towards more the comedy, and now he's with the comedy group, and I like that.
yeah, I think that they did a lot of good planning there.
Hmm.
Um, and I gotta say, Fat Thor is the best cosplay that I can ever pull off.
Yeah,
Because it's like Dad Bod Thor, and I already got that,
Dad
so
bod
I'll be
Thor.
good. I know what I'm gonna be for Halloween this year. Dad Bod
It,
Thor
it
seems
definitely
good.
nerfed. It
Um,
definitely nerfed it. I didn't. People did not like it. I thought maybe he'd get fit again by the end of the movie, but I didn't mind that he wasn't.
no, I liked that he stayed fat because if you think about it, that just shows how strong and powerful he actually is as a character. That he was able to be out of shape and still be God tier. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I would have hated it if they would have chiseled him up in like in a day.
Yeah, I
You know what I
thought no,
mean?
I thought when he got his hammer and like lightning struck him, like it was just gonna like make him instantly
Oh
fit.
no, baby! I was like Fat Thor for the win. Every single scene that had Thor in it made me laugh, and that is good. I think that that
Yeah.
was kind of what they were going to do. Like Thor defeating the trolls in Fortnite.
Yeah,
Dude,
that
he
was
just takes
hilarious.
the mic. He's like, "I will smite you with." Yeah, that shit was so good. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Let me
Um,
let me let me ask you.
yeah,
Did you
go ahead.
did it feel like 3 hours to you?
Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So I had this master plan, okay? I was going to see the movie at 4:40, okay?
Yep.
So I knew that it wouldn't start until about 5 cuz like 20 minutes or so for previews.
Oh, you
Um
thought you were gonna get there late and have a seat, huh?
no, it was like the movie theater that we go to, you reserve your seat.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
Cool,
one of those
cool.
fancy ass ones.
Yeah,
Um
cool.
so I knew I was going to get a seat, like it was
Hmm.
going to be fine. Um but I stopped drinking anything at 3:30 that day.
Bum
I was
bum.
like, okay, I'm going to stop drinking anything like an hour before. I'm going to go to the bathroom like right before I go in.
Hmm.
I did that. I went to the bathroom right before the previews. 5 minutes into the movie, I had to pee. I held it for the
You were
whole
in your own
thing.
head. That's
I was.
all. You should have just
I
went.
no, I held it the whole time. I did not
You're
want to
you
miss a moment.
you should have just went
No, it
like
was
really
it
fast.
was I did not care. I was sitting there holding my dick the entire movie, just like I don't want to pee. I'm not going to. I was pinching it. I was just trying to do anything I could to distract myself from
Jesus,
it.
that
Thankfully
sounds
the movie was
awful.
good, but
Yeah,
that's why it felt like 3 hours to me is cuz I had to pee from minute 5 and I was
yeah,
like traditional Marvel fan. I stayed till the lights turned on
yep,
and my God, that extra little bit of time was fucking painful. It
yep.
was
I'm sure.
painful.
At the end, at the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it feel
Uh,
like 3 hours for you?
no, for me, it went by pretty fast. I mean, everything had its reason. I knew that there was going to be some sort of time travel as one of the reasons for them being able to beat Thanos. Um,
I kind of figured that it was going to be time travel.
mhm,
I thought the other possibility was um if the like after the gauntlet snap.
mhm,
I thought that the other way they could have done it is by doing the snap it would scatter the stones
mhm.
and then they'd have to recollect them
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah. The
Um,
way the movie started, I did not expect Thanos to go in the first like 20 minutes.
oh yeah, Thor
He's
fucking I aimed for the head, man. I got
yeah,
him this
yeah.
time.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm not playing around this time." And
Oh
then
no,
Thor just felt like he failed, and then from there he became a drunken fat bastard.
which was hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious,
It was
hilarious.
hilarious. Okay,
Yeah,
so we got to talk about the real thing here.
let's
All
hear it.
right.
They did hints at some new characters too out that I want to talk
It
about.
did. It
Hmm.
hinted at a lot of new characters.
Well, let's hear what you got to say, amigo.
It hinted at Namor.
Yes, that's what I wanted to get to. That
Um,
Namor the Submariner.
so that
I think that could be a good story.
well,
I think,
Atlantis is going to be sick. It
yeah.
is going to be sick. But
My
I
only,
think they're setting him up to be a villain.
yeah, that's what I think too for Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Namor is sometimes a villain, sometimes a good guy in the
Yeah.
comics. Um, I
So
knew
they set
in
him
a
up perfectly. And for those of you who didn't pick up on this, in the beginning, where it was like one of the first few scenes, they're talking to all the hologram Avengers about
mhm,
keeping the peace after the 5 year gap. And in Wakanda, there was a disturbance that came from
uh,
underneath the ocean,
underneath the ocean earthquake.
an earthquake. So some people are speculating that that is a hint to Namor, and they draw it all the way back to Iron Man 1
Hmm.
when Nick Fury is showing Iron Man different hotspots on the globe, saying that we need more superheroes and we need to create the Avengers Initiative.
The Avengers
If you look
Initiative.
really closely at that world map,
Hmm.
in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, there is a hotspot just randomly in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So they've been planning Namor since
Yeah,
2008, baby.
yeah. It's
Oh,
I'm excited for that. I from what I know about Namor, he seems like a really interesting character. I'm kind of worried
he's the oldest
about.
running character.
Yeah, I'm worried about the comparisons to Aquaman since
Well, he was
Aquaman
the
just did really.
original Aquaman.
Yeah,
So Marvel wins.
I mean,
I mean,
Aquaman did a really good. I mean, it did really well.
it did really
It
well,
did really well. Apparently, it
but
was a really good movie. I didn't see the whole thing.
I did not see it yet. I did hear a lot of good things about it, but
Hmm.
I just me being a Marvel movie fan over DC, I would probably prefer a Namor movie. Easy peasy.
Me too.
Um,
I think Namor is a lot more serious of a character as well, which I
yeah,
prefer. They could definitely do a good story about um kind of like what the X-Men tried to do, where it's like, oh, we're these people who are hated, and you know what I mean, and
yeah.
and now we're fighting back.
Exactly. I mean, the Namor comics are, like I said, like the oldest running comics. I think they
Yeah,
are like 80 years worth of comics or something like that.
yeah.
It's
They've been around a long,
ridiculous.
long time.
Um, so there are a lot of story arcs that could potentially be put in there. He could be an anti-hero of sorts. He could be a
Hmm.
villain. He could be a good guy.
He just needs
Uh,
to be a force of nature. I'm excited to
yeah.
see what they do with
I mean, he can fly.
yeah, he can
He's
fly. He's actually a mutant.
yeah, he's like
Which
he's
which
insane.
which which should bring us to the point of how they're gonna introduce all these new characters into the MCU.
Well, I believe the Russo brothers said don't expect X-Men for 5 years.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I think all of Phase 5 is, or what's the next phase? Phase
4.
4.
4.
All of Phase 4 is a transitional phase. I think all we're getting.
I'm not sure about that
I think
because I
all we're
think
getting is transition.
no, buddy. Because here's what I think they're really gonna do.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think that the potential, like, if you're gonna introduce any of the Fox characters,
Hmm.
they're gonna introduce the Fantastic Four.
I don't think we're seeing them
No,
this phase.
because I think they're going to introduce them in terms of like Silver Surfer,
Hmm.
Galactus, and Doctor
Hmm.
Doom. I think those three characters
Well,
are
you
going to
can't
come
introduce
in.
Doctor Doom until you introduce the entire Fantastic Four, right?
Well, yeah, but they could do that in an Avengers movie because they
Hmm.
didn't have solo Black Widow and Hawkeye things. They were just bam
Yeah,
in cameos and stuff like that.
yeah.
I think that
Do
they're
you think we'll
going
get any
to
cameos?
I do. I think that that's what to expect, honestly, because
Okay.
how I think with Disney Plus, how they've already confirmed that the shows that are going on to Disney Plus are going to be integral and imperative that you know them and watch them in order to understand different things in the MCU.
And that's what I'm gonna get at later.
Oh,
Go on.
because you're worried about it?
No.
I
No,
am.
no, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. Because whatever Disney puts out, I'm gonna watch it.
Well, me too, but
Yeah,
I'm worried about superhero fatigue
that's true. Yeah,
in
yeah,
that regard
yes,
because
true.
to me uh you did not have to watch any of the Agents of Shield to know or care
What
about
was going
anything in the
on?
movies.
Yeah, and even
But
the
to
shit on
watch
Netflix
these,
is part of the same universe.
I mean it is, but you didn't have to see any of
Exactly.
those. Now
Exactly.
for these like the Loki show,
I
which
th- I think that's how they're gonna introduce, or that's how they're gonna start to introduce some of the characters from Fox,
I
the Loki show,
I think the Loki show and the
the Eternals.
the Eternals is going to be a movie.
Yeah, the Eternals are gonna. I
Um,
think the Eternals are gonna introduce some more characters
I
as well.
think they're going to introduce Galactus.
The Eternals. I think they're gonna introduce the X-Men, but
That's fair. That's fair.
or the mutants in general. I guess I should say.
I think that the X-Men could be a good TV show on Disney Plus.
They're gonna
Having
make it
just the
into
School
movies
of
though.
Mutants.
They need to
No,
make it into
but
movies.
they need to make the main characters into movies like the Wolverines
Oh
and stuff like that. But
no, yeah, yeah,
just do
yeah,
like a mutants show in the
yeah.
School of Mutants
That'd be
for
super cool.
Disney Plus would be so sick.
Yeah, that'd be super
Um,
cool.
so
Yeah, that
there's
actually
that.
that's a good idea.
There's that. And I think that they have a lot of building blocks to potentially do that, and
Hmm.
those would lead into what I'm really trying to get to about Endgame, which is the other characters that they hinted at, the Young Avengers.
I don't want to see that.
No. You do. You don't even know that you do, but you do.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay? Peter Parker leads the whole team of Young Avengers.
I like that. So I like it so far.
Okay?
But like, he's not really a member of the Young
No,
Avengers. But yeah,
because listen, dude.
okay,
In the new trailer, they they were talking about Peter Parker becoming the next Iron Man.
okay.
So they alluded to it. They have a whole scene where Peter Parker is fighting in like some ballroom looking thing with
Yeah.
some cops, and the cops go, "Oh, so are you trying to be the next Iron Man? And he goes,
He's
no.
got a yeah.
He goes, no, I'm too busy doing your job. I'm
Oh.
kidding, I'm kidding. Like, but he like shoots some straight bars at the police, and then he's like trying to be like, hey, I'm going on vacation and whatnot. And Nick Fury shows up in the trailer,
Mhm.
and he's saying, it's time. They need a new Iron Man. It's gonna be you. So I think they're setting up Tom Holland to be a leadership esque role for the
Mhm.
Young Avengers.
I do like that. Okay.
Now that
But I don't know who you put on that
I'm
team.
about to tell you, oh boy, Hawkeye's daughter, who
Okay.
he nicknamed Hawkeye,
Uh. Okay.
and was
What? No.
teaching her how to shoot. No, because at the beginning of Endgame, the very
Yeah.
opening scene, she shoots the arrow, and then he goes, "Good job, Hawkeye," which in the comics she does become a Hawkeye, or
Mhm.
his daughter becomes a Hawkeye.
Okay.
So you could have her in it. The boy from Iron Man 3 who was at Tony Stark's funeral.
What is his role? I never actually watched Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3, they had this whole scene setup thing where Tony Stark was with this little kid, and they're building, like repairing a whole bunch of armor and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And the kid is,
What was the kid's name?
oh fuck, I can't remember,
Some
dude.
is it something Cho? He's not
Something
Asian.
like, it's no, it's not. He's
Okay.
like, I can't remember the kid's name, but all I know is it was an extremely ridiculous amount of time to spend on a scene that seemingly had no fit in Iron Man 3.
Mhm. Is the kid really
And
smart?
the kid was extremely smart. And that's
Okay.
why Tony was working with him. It wasn't like Tony was teaching him, Tony was working with this kid to
Okay.
create these new things, which was the same characteristic that in, I think it was Iron Man 2, the young kid with the Iron Man suit was confirmed to be young Spider-Man.
Okay.
And so Tony Stark had the Spider-Man kid and this Iron Man 3 kid that were both supposed to be these integral characters. Well, now we got that Spider-Man, and I think that we're getting Iron Lad, which is in the comics. It would be cool in a Young Avengers concept if you also
I
pair that up
guess,
with
yeah.
Hawkeye's kid.
I
If
don't
you
know that
pair that
anyone's
up
gonna
with
want to see
Morgan
any.
Stark,
I
Tony's daughter,
guess. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to like
and
accelerate the
young
timeline.
mutants, though.
The mutants need to do their own thing
But they can be
because
integrated
because
into this
y-
Young
okay,
Avengers thing, is what
yeah,
I'm saying. So the
yeah.
Young Avengers
Okay.
wouldn't just be this hodgepodge of characters. It would, and the other one that I'm getting at is Proton or Spectrum, whichever one you want to introduce.
Hmm.
Captain Marvel's best friend's daughter is one of the Young Avengers who eventually becomes a Captain Marvel.
Hmm.
Spectrum
They
or
could even
Proton, I
they
think
could
they
even
would
put
throw her in.
Miss. They could put Miss Marvel in there, which I thought that they were gonna do.
They did tease at a Miss Marvel.
Hmm.
Um, they they also teased at a couple other young characters. So I think when you have this big lineup, it's almost like
It.
Robin being in Teen Titans,
Yeah, I could
having
see
Peter
that.
Parker being this integral part of the Young Avengers.
Yeah, now that you put it that way, I guess I could see that. I could see that.
And how they would set that up, in my opinion, is through a Young Avengers TV show. Instead of doing movies, they do the TV show.
It's gotta be well, they all gotta just like appear in different movies, and I think that they just do it like the Avengers. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they appear in both. I
Well,
don't know.
because I think that the real Avengers movies that they're getting towards are not the
Hmm.
Young Avengers, they're getting towards the Dark Avengers.
That'd be cool. I
Which is,
think.
I think it already was teased and talked about.
Do you know where I think we're heading? What I think the next big fight is gonna be? Not the next of this phase, but like the next, like, Endgame, like the Infinity Gauntlet. This was what we've been building to towards this point. Now we have to start building towards something else. Even if there are other big villains that we fight, there was
Yeah,
Loki and there
there
was
was
Ultron, but at
Ultron,
the end
and
of the day, Thanos was the big villain that we've all
yes.
been leading to. I think we're leading towards um Avengers versus X-Men. Like that
Oh,
story
I didn't even
where
think about that.
yeah, where that story where Jean Grey becomes a Dark Phoenix and like the X-Men want to protect her, but then the Avengers are like, she's dangerous. We gotta fucking get rid of her.
See, I
Like
was
that'd be dope.
thinking that they were going to really be fighting Adam Warlock.
I think that's what the Guardians of the Galaxy are. I think that's why Thor joined the Guardians of the Galaxy because they needed someone strong to be able to fight Adam Warlock.
Or turn Adam Warlock.
Or turn. I mean, in the comics, I guess Adam Warlock should have already been here.
Well, well,
Should have been
true.
an integral part to stopping Thanos.
But they did tease at him at the end of Guardians 2.
Yeah, they
But I
did.
think that is going to be like the Guardians 3 and the Eternals movies are going to
Mm-hmm.
focus around Adam Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
whereas,
that's why I thought they added Thor to the Guardians because they needed someone powerful to be able to stand up against him.
that's
And
pretty
no one
true.
else, yeah, no one else on that team is going to be able to, you know what I mean, put a dent in on a guy.
Well, okay, so basically what we're getting at here is that the end game really kind of opened up what we had in the end of phase 3, which is there
Hmm.
are earthly threats and there are cosmic threats. And
And
so
then I think by the end of Spider-Man, just not to cut you off, there's going to be multiversal threats.
which is already confirmed that the multiverse is a thing.
Mm.
So Spider-Man is the real last movie of phase 3.
Yep.
And we're most likely going to get the traditional end credit scene that we did not get from Endgame, which
Absolutely.
should set up some things in Phase 4.
Yeah.
Now, I did love all of in Endgame. There was a lot of imagery and symbolism that I think we can talk about. Uh,
Okay.
my biggest one that I thought was really cool was in the big battle scene. The only characters to touch the Infinity Gauntlet other than Hawkeye were the next big three.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was like a passing of the torch concept that was
I see.
very well symbolized.
Yeah.
Um, having Black Panther, Spider Man, and Captain Marvel all be the only three who were trying to transport the gauntlet
Yeah.
was extremely cool to see.
That was cool. That was a passing of the torch. Yeah, I didn't see it like that. That
Um,
makes sense.
the other.
I t-
Oh,
I
go
think I
ahead.
know what you're gonna say. I think I know what you're gonna say.
No,
Go
no, go
ahead.
ahead. You go.
You're gonna say about the thing about all the women getting together.
I did think that was really cool.
I
Um,
didn't like it.
that is not what I was gonna say, actually.
Okay.
Um, I thought it was cool in the sense that Marvel does have a lot of badass women characters,
Hmm.
and that scene in general was like
They're
very.
making that movie, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're making a movie with just Lady Avengers. I forget what it's called. It's a group in the comics, but they're redoing it and just adding those women,
That is really.
which I think is
I
cool.
think that's cool. I
I
think
just
that's
think that
cool.
that scene was forced. Like, how did
Okay,
all those women know to assemble?
so
You know what
so
I mean?
yes, it was forced, but if you listen to the dialogue from Peter Parker
Mm,
that goes right into that, was pretty like it felt like it meant to be there in my
mm.
opinion, because he was like, oh, how are you gonna get it there by yourself, basically. And then like the rescuer suit and
Hmm.
all of the women assembling being like, oh, she has assistants, like,
Yeah, but how is it
because
just
she can.
is it just coincidence that it was just all the women that was by her side and not like at least like one like Wakandan like dude or
Well,
like
I
one
mean,
like
Peter Parker
random
was
like
there.
Drax.
Peter
It
Parker
just
was there.
Peter Parker. He wasn't in the scene for, or he wasn't in the shot for the when they had all the women on.
Well,
Well, it just seemed
I
forced to
mean,
me.
if
But I
you're
mean, I didn't hate it. I'm not one of those guys that like gets mad because of woman empowerment and all
no,
that
no,
stuff.
no, no. That scene
But
was
it just seems forced to
controversial
me.
for the whole like social justice warrior
Hmm.
concept, which like a lot of people are giving it flack for that, and a lot of people are standing up for it for those reasons. I
Hmm.
don't give a shit about those reasons. Like I
I
said,
don't. Yeah,
I
exactly.
think
Me
that
neither.
there is a lot of badass women in Marvel. I think
Yeah,
that it would have been cooler if you would have had X-Men, like the X-Men
yeah.
women in there, because
They have a
they're
lot of
also
badass women.
badass. And if
Yeah.
you put like if you were able to get them in the Lady Avengers or
Hmm. I
whatever
forget
that
what the
may
name of
be,
the. They're not called. I forget what the name of the group is, but
that
it's
would be
all, yeah. That'd be
fucking
super dope.
dope
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. And again, my problem with it isn't that they did it. My problem with it is that they just didn't make sense for that. I didn't think it felt forced, and I didn't think it like fit. Like it was just that big of a coincidence, really, that
I
all the women just decided to gather around, really,
I
and assemble. How
get
do they
it.
know to assemble? You know what I mean? It's just
I get it.
and I don't like I said, I don't hate that they did it. It's just that it just didn't make sense for that
Okay,
time. At least make it make sense.
so if we're talking about scenes that we didn't like,
Hmm.
because that's basically what you're getting at, is you didn't like, you weren't a big fan of it, right?
Yeah, I
For
mean, I didn't hate it,
it
but
it
like I was
was
just like,
it doesn't matter. I mean, it's
it
not one of
it
your favorite parts.
yeah, it took
You
me
know
out
what I
of it.
mean? Well, want to
Yeah,
know what took me out? The
I know what you're gonna say.
whole fucking lunch scene with Professor Hulk
No,
being a
I fucking love
goddamn
that.
moron. No, no, no.
He's such a bro. He's
Here's
such a
here's
bro.
why I hated it. It went on way too long.
That's fair.
The Ant-Man like exchange
Yeah.
could have easily been I'm Ant-Man, and then the kids being like I mean, if you think about it, you were sitting at the same goddamn table as Black Widow, Captain America, Ant-Man, and Professor Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Those are the characters, right? And of course, like Paul Rudd gonna be the funny, like the comedic relief, and Mark Ruffalo also being comedic relief there. But
Hmm.
that could have easily been just as funny with being like, hey, wait, what about me? I'm Ant-Man, and then the kids being like, and just walking away.
Yeah.
It would have got the same exact crowd reaction as the 5 minute fucking interaction of them being like, seriously, they don't want to take the picture. Yeah, they do. No, no, they want to. They want to. Here's the goddamn phone. That took way too fucking long, especially
That's
when they're
fair.
in the middle of talking about fucking time travel and
Yeah.
all this big, like these big concepts. And
Okay.
Hulk's
Yeah.
just like, oh no, take the picture. Fuck you, dude. Like, no, that was bullshit.
Yeah. I get that. I could see that.
Because if you think about it, that was supposed to be just as funny as discovering Fat Thor and then him doing the whole Fortnite thing. And that Fortnite scene was so much
It was a lot
funnier
funnier. It was a lot funnier.
than
It was a lot
the
funnier.
fucking sitting at lunch being like,
Yeah,
listen,
I did. I am a fan of Handsome Hulk, though. That's what I call him, Handsome Hulk, like handsome Squidward.
okay, that's funny. I didn't think of it that way because I was excited to see Professor Hulk, like because that was the scene that revealed
Yeah.
Professor Hulk, and I was like, holy shit, we got Professor Hulk! Like we got him, we
Hmm.
fucking got him. They're gonna show different evolutions of Hulk. They're gonna show Red Hulk. They might show
Oh,
World
yeah.
Breaker Hulk. Like I was
Red.
so
Yeah.
fucking pumped, and then they go
Yeah.
and they throw it away with this whole, oh, let's take a picture. Fuck you! Oh, you ruined it. Like, oh my god. Oh,
I didn't hate it. I thought what you were gonna say is that the scene at the end with Captain America coming back or it being an old man.
no, I liked that. I thought that
I
was
just
good.
I did too. I get why people didn't like it because it didn't make sense, but I did like it.
It made sense for his story, for his
No, I mean it
arc.
didn't make sense like in terms of time. Like how did he like if you go back in time, you create a different alternate timeline. So how did he get back into our timeline and still be old?
Well, because if you forget, he did have all of the fucking stones at a point, so he can alter reality with the reality stone that he has to make it
Yeah.
so that he shows up at that place at that time instead
Yeah.
of coming through the quantum realm right
Yeah.
there.
I
So
think.
it was a good send off. They did
Yeah.
have a couple different plot holes similar to that a lot of
Yeah.
people are complaining about. Um,
I think people are upset because it left too much. Like you had to explain it yourself. Like they didn't explain it for them, and that's a pretty good explanation. I really just didn't give it much thought. I was just like, I don't like Captain America. I was by the end, I was like, oh, I guess Captain America doesn't die. I guess Chris Hems. I guess we were reading all into this all wrong. And then it was like, oh, Captain America's an old, and I was like, oh,
but he passed on the Captain America torch
yeah,
as
he did.
well. So
Which he also did in the comics
I
with him and Bucky getting a TV show on Disney Plus.
yeah, exactly. That so I'm wondering how they're going to do that cuz right now it's Falcon and um right?
Yeah,
They called it Falcon and Winter Soldier or
maybe it'll be a prequel. I don't know. Maybe the name is Liquid.
I think that
Um,
that might be what it is and they because they released that information way
mhm,
earlier than Endgame, they might
mhm.
actually change it to Captain America and the Winter Soldier
Yeah, it's not
TV
like
show
much
or whatever.
equity's been built into that name already,
Nah,
so
exactly. Um,
they can change the name.
WandaVision, though, can we talk about the dumbest fucking name for a show ever?
I
WandaVision.
think Vision is gonna come back somehow.
Oh, Vision.
Um,
No, they said that Shuri finally figured it out. She
oh, did she?
that's what that's what people are saying is going to happen to make that show exist. So it's
Okay.
cuz
Oh, okay.
so it's not a prequel. Instead we're going to get what was Vision's evolution of him being without the stone called in the comics?
I have no idea. I thought it was just Vision. I don't
No,
know much about Vision.
there's a special name for him after the stone's removed and there is
I couldn't.
the essence.
I
I
couldn't tell
don't
you.
want to look it up because
Potting.
yeah, because we're live. But because
Yeah,
we're
no.
live,
We
baby.
need an assistant. We can just yell, and you know Joe Rogan and Joe Budden both have assistants. Why don't we have an
That's
assistant?
because we don't fucking make money off this.
What? I make lots of money.
Off this?
Yeah, bro. Think about it,
Then give me some profit share, god damn it. I'm one half
buddy.
of the
Buddy, you make lots of money too. You haven't been getting your checks.
my checks.
The checks haven't been getting in the mail.
No, bro.
I gotta have a word with my banker.
They all bounced. Oh, they were written to a different person's name. Ah, okay. Seaside Mike's getting all the money. Okay.
I put the address down.
Oh, that's
Miss
so
Ray's
low.
house,
That's so low.
Mr. Mocha's house.
Mr. Mocha's house. That's awesome.
Uh,
No, but I think that in general, they are going to do WandaVision like that, where they're
okay.
going to bring in Shuri's gonna have figured out how to actually
I
um
don't want it to be that easy though. I want Wanda to like really be fighting to try to figure it out. Like you know what I mean? Like I want it to be partly because of her powers and not just because Shuri is the smartest fucking son of a son
you
something.
mean the smartest Disney princess there is?
Yes, she is. In fact, she actually is.
She is.
Whoa, mind blown.
Did I just fuck your world up or what?
Whoa.
She is the smartest Disney princess.
She is in fact the smartest Disney princess there's ever
Hmm.
been.
Which, by the way, she could also be in the Young Avengers. So go
I
fuck
guess.
yourself, buddy.
I guess, but she's too big time to be with the young Avengers. She's pretty big. She's pretty important,
Well, so
especially now since Iron Man's gone.
but so is Peter Parker. But I think
Peter
he would
Parker is
leave
not.
it.
He's small scale. He's small scale
No,
compared to the rest of
no,
them.
he's
He's
not.
small scale.
He
In the large scheme of things, Peter Parker is a street crime, random like madman, or hero. Come on,
bro.
honestly, like his
No,
biggest villain is Norman Osborn. In
no.
terms of large scale things, he's not that big of a deal. He's
He,
in the large scheme of things, he's not that
oh
important.
my god, dude, you hurt my
He's
soul.
popular. I like
You just
Spider-Man.
hurt my soul, man.
I'm sorry. I like Peter
He's
Parker.
my favorite fucking superhero, so you need to shut your mouth.
Listen, I like him, but in the large scheme of things, he's not that important. In the comparatively, okay, compare
No,
his importance
but
to like
in the
Iron Man or
movies,
Thor.
they are making him that important. He's
I
one of the
don't.
next big three. It's
He is,
confirmed.
but it's gonna be part of the Young Avengers, not part of the
No,
Avengers.
that's just
Avengers.
me speculating. I don't
Yeah,
fucking know
I
anything.
think.
I don't
I
have
mean,
any insider
yeah,
info.
yeah.
I think that
Well,
they're gonna really branch out
because
with this multiverse concept and do like a
yeah,
live
they could do
action.
the Spider Verse,
Yeah.
the live action Spider Verse. Am I wrong, or was Spider Noir in the trailer?
Um.
I remember seeing a live action Spider Noir somewhere. I thought it might have been in like a clip for the trailer, or am I wrong?
I
But they could definitely do that.
I think so. I'm trying to remember. I just watched it yesterday, and I was really caught up on how they kept talking about him carrying the new role of Iron Man.
Hmm.
Because if you think about it, they're even doing it the same way. Iron Man was the first movie that was released in the whole Endgame arc,
Hmm.
and this is the last movie of Phase 3, which is also the first movie of all the ones going forward after Endgame. So I think that it's perfectly setting up the same way that they did with Iron Man. And then I was
Yeah.
super caught up on just the whole fucking concept of multiverse, and the
Yeah.
Iron Spider suit is still in there and still
Yeah,
fucking
it's my
baller.
favorite suit.
It's
Iron
so
Spider
cool.
suit. It's probably my favorite alternate suit for any superhero.
It is by far the coolest, and actually getting to see how they did instant kill was so
Mm.
sick. Oh my god, I was so pumped about that. I got him. I
Oh,
got him.
we
I
didn't even
got him.
we didn't even talk about the fact that Captain America got Thor's hammer.
That was the other point that I
Oh
wanted to
my
bring up
god.
was I have never heard a whole audience go
Oh yeah.
at the same damn time
The
until
theater was
that.
going lit.
It was wild. And then the even the comedic relief of when Thor had
Yeah,
Stormbreaker was like
Stormbringer.
he was like, "Give me the big one." Like you take the small one. I thought that shit was so funny. Oh man. So real quick, I gotta ask, did you cry?
No, I was close.
So
The girl next to me was bawling, and my girl was crying as well.
I was close.
Yeah.
There was one person in front of me who was uh they could have ended it like 5 minutes earlier than they did. How much they were crying. And it
Wow.
was like
Yeah.
audible, like it was like sniffles galore. I was
Yeah.
about to say, can you shut the fuck up so we can hear this, like the what's actually important right now, not your feelings. Get the fuck out of here. Like I
This
was
man's got no heart, people.
okay. So
Sheesh.
yeah, I did not cry. Um, I I was close a couple times,
Yeah.
and ironically enough, they were not any of the times that anybody else did or that
Mm,
I've explained to or heard back from so far. So because Peter Parker is so big to me and because
mm,
Spider-Man is like my favorite character of all time in any superhero concept at all, uh when Tony Stark looked at the picture of him and Spider-Man, I got the feels. I was serious
mm.
because I was like, holy shit! Like he's sad because his like
His
favorite
protege.
kid is fucking dead right now. And
Yeah.
then when you see the reversal where Spider-Man comes through the portal and he's like, Mr. Stark, like I was here and then I got dusted and then I didn't feel so good and then you were gone, but then I woke up like 5 minutes later and Doctor Strange was there and like and then
Yeah.
Tony Stark just gives him a big hug. I almost choked up there.
Oh.
And then when even though Pepper Potts was sitting right fucking behind him as Tony's dying in Peter Parker's arms, I was more sad about Peter Parker holding Tony then Pepper Potts even fucking, she could have been gone. I wouldn't even have cared. I was like so just heartbroken over that moment right there. It was rough
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, you're a Peter Parker head, it seems.
I really am. I mean, he's
Yeah.
just he's just
Spidey's dope.
well, cuz
Spidey's dope.
I like I love this iteration of Peter Parker. Like Tom
Yes.
Holland I
Yeah.
think is the best Peter Parker we've had. And
Yeah, definitely.
he plays it so well, and the fact that it's like I can see a lot of myself in him, like, you know, like he's just this nerdy little kid, like, you know,
Yeah.
pretty innocent, whatever. We got to watch him lose his fucking innocence on screen, watching
Yeah.
his mentor die in his arms. Fuck
Yeah.
that, man. Oh, that hurt. That hurt.
Yeah.
But
You
those
definitely got feels during that moment, and like at the end when Captain America was like dancing with his woman.
that was a really nice moment.
Hmm.
Those were the only points though that I was genuinely like on the verge.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like fucked up about it for like a while, like a couple days. Like my
Can
mom called me like that night, and I was like, she's like, what are you so upset for? You're upset, you're graduating school
yeah,
and
like
all this other shit. And I was like, what's wrong? And then she's like, and I'm like, Iron Man, Tony Stark died.
Yeah.
And she's like, what?
Oh man. I gotta say though, can I tell you one scene that I was not happy with that I think you'll probably crucify me for?
Okay, sure.
The
You
black
didn't like it?
Yeah, I didn't really like it.
Okay, what?
The Black Widow Hawkeye scene.
Oh yeah, no, I thought that was stupid.
I
I think that whole concept of the Mind Stone is stupid. That's not how. Why is it what?
of the Mind Stone?
Oh, the Soul Stone. I'm
The
sorry.
Soul Stone, yeah.
The Soul Stone. That whole concept is stupid. Like what? That's not. I don't recall that ever happening in the comics. Nothing.
I
It's nothing like where you have to sacrifice the one you love and
I don't no, it's not the one you love, it's something you love.
something you love. Like it's like from what I recall, the Soul Stone was just like if you're not careful, it can suck you into it. But like
Well,
other
the
than
Soul
that,
Stone is a big vacuum
universe
essentially.
within
It's
itself,
yeah.
yes. But like it was never like you had to like kill or destroy something.
No,
I don't-
cuz
that was just a plot device.
characters get trapped in it.
And people and
And-
characters come out. Adam
and
Warlock's
characters come out. Yeah.
yeah. Adam Warlock's been in. Adam Warlock's been out. It was just a plot.
It's been
Yeah.
he's been Vision but with the fucking Soul Stone.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been in his
yeah,
brain.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I
It was just a
think
plot
that-
device to get this to where to get to the point where Gamora and Black Widow had to go. But all that whole like, no, I'm gonna jump off. No, I'm gonna jump off.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
like-
some dumb shit to me. I was like actually annoyed by the end of it because it was another scene that just went on too long in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know that the whole point was supposed to be like you know, which character's going to make the sacrifice, yada yada yada. I was genuinely not expecting Black Widow to go
Yeah, I wasn't
because
expecting
of the
that either.
movies that have already
Me-
been announced.
Yeah, me
but
neither.
I feel like that kind of confirms that they might be prequels.
Yeah, well, no, I believe it is a prequel, and I mean, and also I wouldn't rule out the possibility of her coming back. She's not the Soul Stone is like a weird thing.
Well,
We'll
we
see
saw,
how that
we
do.
saw that Gamora was able to be brought back through time travel.
Yeah,
And-
so we'll
And
see
now
how
that we know that multiverse is confirmed,
the multiverse
we
theory.
can just get multiverse Black Widow over here.
Let's just do
and be
Infinite
fine.
Crisis in Marvel.
Yeah, I mean it's, you know, it is what it is. But we can wrap up this topic. We've talked about it a lot. I know that we could probably keep talking about it for hours and hours. and hours.
Yeah.
But we can always jump back to Marvel and stuff like that in our future pods.
For sure.
To final thoughts on Endgame, though, you can go first.
Two final thoughts on
No,
Endgame.
just like any final thoughts, and then I'll give some final thoughts.
11 years, they've this is something that I'm a professional. I watch professional wrestling, and one things that fans often complain about professional wrestling is that there's no long-term storytelling anymore. And you can definitely see it through these number of movies, the 11 years of how intricate and how detailed and how there's been an end post. Like there has been this is what we're leading up to, and for them to have executed it this well, I'm happy to have lived through it, and I hope one day, I can show my children how dope these movies were, because it's definitely a great era to be in, where all the nerdy shit that I liked growing up is super cool and was done so well.
And Disney's doing it
Yeah,
amazing. I mean,
absolutely.
I like they're just doing so much justice to the whole Marvel franchise. My final thoughts on Endgame. Um, I know that a lot of people are worried about this possible transition period. I am not. I think that Disney as a business is extremely smart. I
It's
think
booming.
that, and it is booming. I think that they have a lot of potential to have more um, like TV shows, even some that are more adult esque that they could put on Hulu rather than Disney streaming. I
Hmm.
think business wise, Disney's going to take great care of the Marvel Universe. I think that the Russo brothers do an amazing job. I think that um, they will set up a lot of really good storylines. I'm curious to see how they tweak Captain Marvel. I know a lot of people are talking about how OP she is,
Yeah.
but I think that she kind of has to be OP for some of the cosmic threats that they might end up bringing up soon.
Hmm.
Um, I think that she will end up making possible cameos in like Guardians and Eternals and be more on the cosmic scale. Which,
Yeah.
if you are going to face people like Adam Warlock, you are going to need characters like Thor. You're going to need characters like Captain Marvel who are a little overtuned,
Mm.
because Adam Warlock is so overtuned. It's not
Yeah.
even funny. Um, so I'm genuinely excited for the future, and looking forward to Spider-Man Far From
Yeah.
Home, which is the next one. Just a
Absolutely.
couple months.
Should be a
Um,
fun watch.
yeah. So as far as what else you want to cover, I know that you had some other things.
All right. Well, let's get
So
into something else. Um. So, what do you want to talk about? Games?
I mean, we don't have to. We don't
It's
have
up to
to,
you.
but
What?
no. I mean, okay. In what capacity? What do you want to talk about games? Do you want to
Do you
talk
want
about cheating?
you want to talk about cheating
Do you
in
want to talk about cheating?
games? Yeah. What is the most egregious? Yes, I use my
Oh,
Stephen A. Smith
egregious.
word.
Oh
What's the
boy.
most egregious form of cheating you've seen in the game?
Well, hold on. I gotta put my hat back on for a second. I'm taking my headphones off. But the most egregious cheating I have seen in a game. Do you
Hmm.
mean like
Like,
that
wow,
has
you're an idiot,
like
or like,
while
wow, this is really obvious.
okay, so obvious cheating.
Hmm.
Um Match fixing in Dota 2
Hmm.
is very blatantly obvious. Um because back when betting sites were legal for Dota,
Hmm.
um there was a lot of obscure bets that were placed on things like 10 kills, like first team to 10 kills. And you would see one team like rapidly feed 4 kills. It would hit 10, and then all of a sudden they start playing like with their shit together again.
Jesus, yeah.
So match fixing and stuff like that. But the most recent thing that I can think of that was pretty egregious was in Magic the Gathering,
Mm-hmm.
Paper Magic, somebody marked their card sleeves
Oh,
in
that
their
sounds like
deck.
some Yu-Gi-Oh shit. Some
So this man marked
some Bandit Keith type shit.
he marked um for those of you that don't know Magic, the mana system is land cards. So you play these lands and you get mana that you can expend on playing creatures and different things like that. Well, this guy had card sleeves on his Magic cards, which you're allowed to have card sleeves, but he had specific markings on specific lands and specific cards that gave you extra mana
Hmm.
that you could ramp with. So
Mm,
he would see where they were in his shuffling,
mm-hmm.
and um, if he was like close to them at the beginning of the game, he would mulligan for them.
Hmm.
And when you mulligan, you put cards that you currently have at the bottom of your deck, and you draw like a certain amount more. So he would do that so that he could have, like, on turn 2 or turn 3, he could have these massive creatures getting spawned because he was mana flooding based off his marked cards. And I thought that was so fucking scummy to like mark your own card like on the
Yeah,
sleeves and be like, well,
yeah.
I'm gonna win games by marking cards. Like, that felt
Just with
fucked up.
just, just with card games, there's a bunch of shit in the Yu-Gi-Oh show cheating. The My Valentine had she sprayed every one of her cards with a different like perfume, so that
Oh
she had like a
shit.
really like good scent of smell. So like when she pulled the card, she would know exactly how to shuffle it
Oh,
and everything. How
that's
insane is that?
insane. That
And
is
then
insane.
yeah, there was another instance where a guy, I think it was Weevil, he put like a card in Yugi's deck, and it was a card, and he had a card that he played that it was like, if this guy has this card in his deck, then XYZ happens. And then Yugi's like, I don't have that card in my deck. I'm not a loser. And then
But then he
and then
did.
and Weevil was like, oh, ha ha.
Got him.
I put this card in your deck when you weren't looking.
Well, along those lines, another thing, I believe somebody received a lifetime ban for Magic,
Oh, word.
because they had multiple instances of like trying to cheat. Um, the most recent time that got them banned was caught on video
Mm.
and like went insanely viral on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, look at all these instances of this guy match fixing and cheating and stuff like that. What he would do is when he had to shuffle cards, like when it was a specific shuffle period, he would shuffle different ways each time.
Mm-hmm.
So like based on if you do like a standard uh like cut the deck shuffle, you can kind of look at cards simultaneously,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of place them based off of looking at them. And then if you shuffle like doing a riffle and cut, you can also manipulate cards that way. But then when other players would be looking at their hand, he would draw two cards like with like sleight of hand. Like, he would, instead of just pulling one, he would pull two. And
Oh, what a
so
cock.
he would like be getting extra cards. And how he would like hide it was he would fold his hand up so that you could only see like the back of one card, and then he would unfold it, look at him, fold it back up, so you never really like, unless the judges were really counting by just looking at the sleeves, they would never really be able to tell. But
Oh, what a cock.
he also used sleeves that were just like a specific pattern that didn't have like the transparent front to show the card art and like what the actual card is, was not like super defined, so you could not even really count his sleeves,
Hmm.
stuff like that. And I thought that that was like fucking crazy.
Yeah,
But
that's
but
nuts.
cheating in games is just dirty. Fuck people.
Yeah. I initially got to this topic because I recently saw that there, well, not, I don't know how recent this is, but there was a guy who cheated in a CS:GO professional tournament.
Oh,
Who had,
using aimbots.
yeah, he had an aim assist program, and someone came, and one of the tournament organizers saw that he had it up on his screen, like came to like like have him turn it off,
Oh
and he like
man.
attack, like kind of like attacked them to try to prevent them from looking at his screen. He got like a 5-year ban.
Dude, that
Isn't that
sucks.
nuts? Like a professional tournament.
Well, okay,
That's
speaking of professional, there was pretty recently there was a professional Overwatch player
hmm
who only played online tournaments with her team.
yeah.
And it was this female that used another person to play for her, and she would just talk.
Oh shit.
So
Yeah.
this guy who was like insanely high on the ranks
Yeah.
was playing on her account, and she would just talk to like her teammates.
Hmm.
And so like I think they like got invited to a LAN or something like that, and she was like, I can't go. Like I can't fucking go, because she couldn't bring her guy who was actually playing for her. Now that spawned a whole bunch of uh like hate speech towards women in gaming from a lot of Overwatch people. They were like, I guess Overwatch as a community got pretty toxic in game. Anytime they would
Yeah.
hear a female's voice, they would be like, you should tell the guy who's playing for you to fucking stop because he sucks too. And like shit like that
Yikes.
was getting put out there. So that kind of led to a lot of backlash in
Yeah.
a lot of regards. The other like professional cheating other than match fixing in Dota was last year during the TI qualifiers.
Oh boy.
A South American team had a
Our old friend
player.
Dota 2.
I know, right? A South American team had a player that was using macros on his keyboard and on his mouse to perfectly armlet toggle as Huskar. So
Yeah.
like he would armlet toggle in such a fast instance that it was impossible for a human's actual reaction to armlet toggle that fast. And then how they caught him was he also played Meepo, and he had the blink poof combo.
hmm
All four Meepos came over in the same tick, so the same millisecond. All four
What?
Meepos were coming over.
Oh, that's weird. Huh.
So he had a macro that essentially hit 6 buttons in one button click, and it
That's
did it
nuts.
instantaneously. So that's how he got caught for doing these macros. That team ended up forfeiting all of their remaining matches, and they put a different team into the qualifier spot where they were. They were like
Yikes.
one game away from making it to TI.
That blows.
And
Wow. I
and
didn't hear anything about this.
yeah,
I'm
the
out of the
the
loop.
guy did not get a ban or anything. He kind of got a warning, like don't ever use macros again. He kind of played pretty innocent, played dumb, and was like, I didn't know that it was a problem. It's just a setting on my mouse where I can have macros on it based
Mm.
off this third party stuff. And they were like, well, you wouldn't be able to use that third party stuff because it's right here in the rules. You can't use third party.
Yeah, but who reads the rules?
Well, when you're
Yeah.
trying to qualify for a 20 plus $1 million tournament, you better fucking read some rules. Oh man, so yeah, that's kind of the big match fixing stuff that I have heard or kind of thought was pretty egregious.
Well, that's awesome. That's well, not awesome.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
very bad actually.
yeah, there's some. we were talking about Sekiro Shadows Die Twice a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
There's a
yes,
lot of
yes, yes.
mods in there. A lot of people modding it to make it easier on them because obviously it's a From Software game, so it's going to be
It's
super hard.
fucking hard.
I think with those things, it's fine if you're not affecting anyone else's game. Like if it's a multiplayer game and you're affecting other people online, um, then that's fucking shitty. But if you're just like doing it for yourself, like have a blast. Like no one like as long as you're
Yeah,
not hurting anyone. If you're having more fun that way, do it. But like don't affect my game with your
if
nonsense.
if you're trying to now what about this though? Speedrunners have actually
Yeah.
caught some flack for cheats and speedrunning.
Yeah.
Um, even down to I think people broke world records with video editing,
Yes, I've heard about
which
this. Yeah.
is
Yeah,
super
definitely.
fucked up in my
That's
opinion.
shitty. Also, speedruns in general are shitty. Like that's not fun to me. Like I'd be so stressed out.
Oh yeah, that's got
But
to be
yeah.
stressful. Speedrunning
Yeah.
has to be stressful,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm okay with modding in games. I think that modding and stuff like that. I mean, hell, it brought me my favorite game of all
Oh,
time.
yeah. Dota
So
2.
I can't really be mad at modders ever.
That's fair. That's fair.
Um,
Dota 2, however, is a curse. And
it's cocaine.
I'm every day I beg the lords that the Lord the seven the light of the seven. I hope the light of the seven one day shines on you and you eventually put down this terrible carnet car. It's a disease, is what I'm trying to say.
No, fuck you, buddy. I love that game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll
Which
ever put it down. Like I
yeah, I know
genuinely
what you
love
mean.
playing it so much that I
It's cancer.
okay, I gotta say, I can't play it by myself anymore.
Mm,
I I used to be able to play for hours upon end by myself. Now I can only play with friends
yeah. Yeah, I
because
know what you mean.
I think I what I had a big problem with was before I would stress out too much about the game, and I
Mhm.
think that that made me like toxic in real life. So
Yeah.
when you have toxicity blending in from your games
The
in IRL,
toxicity.
then you need to really fucking calm down. So
Fair
now I
enough.
only play with friends. I don't like get on to play
Yeah.
by myself.
Yeah.
Um and I just like lately I've been having a good time like actually this is going to sound real bad, but I've been having a great time just fucking feeding. Like just
Ah,
I go into the games and like
yeah.
at the end like I used to like worry about my KDA stuff like that. At the end of the game I might have like 25 deaths and I'll be like, "Well, at least we won."
Yeah.
It was
Yeah. It'd be
fun.
like that.
It was
It'd
fun
be
while it
like that.
lasted. Yeah. No, but I can never get mad at modders cuz they brought to the world this
Mm,
gracious gift of cocaine in a video game.
absolutely.
Dota Dota 2.
Dora Dua.
Dota 2.
So yeah. And you told me that you don't watch Game of Thrones, right?
I do not.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
No,
That is
I
valuable content that we could be adding to this podcast. And it's
look,
a
man.
great show and you should be watching it. Shame on
We
you.
can talk about it. I know all about it from all the memes.
Oh my god.
I just
Disgusting.
learned about Game of Thrones through all the memes.
You're a peasant.
I'm
Disgusting.
a plebeian.
Go and watch the show.
No, man, fuck the
Watch the
show.
show.
I will watch it once everything is available.
Oh my god, it's gonna be available in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so give me fucking 2 weeks.
And you're gonna watch the whole fucking show.
Yeah, I okay, like I think you really underestimate how much I hate commercials and how much I hate live TV and how much I hate everything about TV actually. Like I fucking hate TV.
I
I
guess.
hate it. I hate it with a passion.
I'm not a fan of commercials either, but you can work your way around there.
Oh, can
E-
you? Can you?
yeah, you can.
I also don't want to
It's called
fucking pay for
pirating.
HBO. That's the
Also,
other
yeah,
thing.
I've had to pay. I paid for HBO, but then at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of worth it. I'm just like, after I looked at what's on here, I'm like, yeah, I can't. It's kind of.
Here's the thing. So you don't have kids.
And Game of Thrones is fantastic.
You don't have kids. I do.
That's true.
And I can tell you when you have kids, you do not own your TV anymore. The
That's
kids
fair.
rule the TV. I
That's fair.
cannot turn the TV on without my daughter being like, "Boss baby, Boss Baby, please." And then I'll be like, "Well, we watched Boss Baby 5 times already." And then she'll be like, "Trolls." And then I'll turn on Trolls, and then we'll fucking watch Trolls. And then she's sick of Trolls after 20 minutes in, so she wants to watch Mulan. Then we turn on Mulan, and then she gets sick of that 5 minutes in, and then she wants to watch YouTube videos. We don't own our TV. It's pointless to buy anything
That's
related
fair.
to the TV because I bum Netflix and Hulu off my parents
Mm.
because I'm a scumbag, and I don't own cable. Like I don't have cable,
Cut the
so
cord.
yeah, I'm just
Yeah, I don't
internet
have
only,
cable
baby.
either. Yeah. You ever watch? Did you watch? People. I was real upset this week because people were comparing and saying that Breaking Bad was better than Game of Thrones, and I wanted to just like kill
Was
everyone.
better then?
Yeah.
I mean,
Breaking Bad
was okay.
was trash.
I wouldn't call it trash. It was okay.
It was pretty close to trash.
It was not great. Like a lot
It
of
wasn't
people
great.
are like, "Oh my
People
god, it's one of the best shows of all time." Fuck
people
that.
put it
No.
top 3, and one day we're gonna have a
No.
good. One day we're gonna have a long discussion about Breaking Bad. Not today, but one day.
No, Breaking Bad definitely. Like I think it was okay, but like it
It's
sucked.
okay at best.
Yeah,
None
like
of the
it
characters
sucked,
are
but it
likable.
was
They were
okay.
all schmucks.
Yeah, I mean,
All of them were schmucks.
I don't know. Like what?
And I was waiting the whole time for Walt to like turn into like this drug kingpin. It never happened.
What's
He just
your
like fucking
what's your
fucked
opinion
around.
on Sons of Anarchy?
It's my fucking favorite show of all time.
Okay, I really like Sons of Anarchy.
It's my fucking. It's my.
mean,
I can
it's
literally.
really
I can
good.
literally rewatch it every like
Dude,
rewatch
the
it.
fucking
I
on the
love
motorcycle just
Son. Oh my god! It's my
arms
favorite
out.
show. It's my favorite show of all time.
sorry spoilers, but arms out on a motorcycle is like one of the
Yeah.
best fucking
Oh my
symbols I've ever seen.
Charlie
Oh.
Hunnam, you can see the anger in his eyes when when it gets to the end when he finds
Mhm.
it's just such a good show.
They fucking did it right.
It's
What was? Did you ever watch 24?
No, I never watched 24.
24 was a pretty good show. It was out around the same time Lost was. I'm a big Lost fan too.
I did like Lost.
So
I was a fan of Lost. Lost was one of the first shows I watched that got me into like watching a bunch of
lot
series.
of things, yeah, like
Yeah.
series in general.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Breaking Bad in general, fucking meh,
yeah,
meh at best.
man. At best, one day we're gonna have a long discussion and really tear down Breaking Bad, but not today.
That's
You
fair.
wanna-
We're pretty thin on time anyway.
Yeah, I
Was
was
there
gonna
anything
say.
that you wanted to hit at the end here before
No,
we wrap it up
everything else we can just like move to the next.
next week?
Fun
or
getting to talk
whatever?
about Avengers and cheating in games.
Yeah, I mean
It's
that's
good.
fine.
Fun little talk. Yeah.
Okay, well then.
Yeah. Next time I'll be in another location.
God damn it! You need to stop switching on me. All right. Well then, I do want to say though, real quick before we wrap it up. So I have been because we did the long haul podcast last time talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Artifact, and I want to
Yeah.
give you a little update.
Let's hear it.
Okay. I started playing Magic the Gathering Arena.
Yeah, I heard. I could tell that you're into Magic now.
It's so far I like it,
Mm-hmm.
but it has a ridiculous predatory monetization model,
Mm-hmm.
and I have already worked out a deal with my wife about how much money I can spend on this game.
Wait. Leave it for suspense.
Are you
Leave
sure?
it for leave it for suspense for the next
Okay.
pod.
Okay.
Leave it
All
for
I'm
suspense.
gonna say is that it was a deal, and it was a deal, like a real deal. There was like a
Devil's
deal.
Triangle.
Yeah, I had to sign my
Oh,
soul
you
away,
got this.
basically.
Oh man.
I had to definitely
Make a definitive
let's
statement.
let's just put it this way. I'm not the only one who gets a benefit out of this deal. So there's a definite deal, but we will leave it for suspense.
Okay, awesome. I'm excited for the next spot. I hope the listeners are as well.
I hope so as well. Two things, Seaside.
All right. Axe or bristleback?
Axes, axe. Bristleback's just a dumb fucking sneezing hedgehog.
He's a fucking cuck.
I would be happier with Bristleback if it was just Sonic the Hedgehog, but it's not, so meh. All right, two things for you. Oh baby, I've been wanting to throw this one at you for a while here. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Ribeye or bone-in pork chops?
I'd probably say bone and pork chops.
That's the fucking correct answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
that is the right answer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I enjoy
shit,
a good
dude.
pork chop.
Good
bone
pork
in.
chop, man. Bone
A little
in.
bit of honey onion.
There we go. That's the show.
All right.